and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Battlefront Weekly. I'm Greg Henniger.
I'm Lorenzo Valoria.
And last week we asked you guys what you want to hear us talk about, and we got a comment from God. What ships should be in the game? What kind of variety? What's the biggest ship you could let players control? What about creatures? Can I pilot a Tauntaun while others pilot AT-ATs and snowspeeders? What about those weird sand lizard things on Tatooine?
Sand lizards? Come on, you mean it's dewbacks, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we know that vehicles are going to be in the game. So from the trailer, there's a snowspeeder, there's AT-AT feet stomping on the ground and stuff.
Half the trailer was vehicles.
So they're going to be in there. So what do we expect to see? I expect to see some X-Wings, TIE Fighters, A-Wings, Y-Wings. They're all going to be flying around dogfighting in the air, in space, like between Star Destroyer and Home One. Sure. So, you know, that's expected. But, you know, there's also mounts and stuff that are planet specifics, like the Tauntauns, of course, from the Hoth, dewbacks on Tatooine,
speeder bikes on Endor.
Banthas, sand crawlers could be like a bigger mobile kind of spawn point kind of vehicle.
And speaking of the bigger vehicles, that's a really good point about them having being like mobile, movable spawn points that you can progress them through the map and place them in strategic places, like maybe a big sand crawler.
Hold multiple soldiers.
Or a rebel blockade runner, or maybe even like you could pilot a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, have them slowly move across the map.
Yeah, like they're like in Empire Strikes Back where they're about to run into each other. It's like
maneuverability with the Star Destroyers. That
super
would be
slow.
Interesting, yeah.
But yeah, just moving it across the map and making new spawn points so things aren't just grounded and everyone's going to spawn camp those things.
Yeah, and last week we talked about hero units. Heroes have their own ships too. Like Boba Fett's got his Slave One, Han Solo's got the Millennium Falcon, Luke's got Red 5. So, you know, these could all be like supercharged ships. Like the Slave One will have, you know, all the outfits of Boba Fett, like whatever the missiles he had, those crazy bombs and stuff. Yeah,
sound missile wave.
That was in episode 2. I don't know if that was really the Slave One. I think that was a different model than what Boba Fett actually flies around. But you know, that's an idea. And the Millennium Falcon can have multiple characters in there taking over the guns.
That would be awesome. You could have a whole team inside the Millennium Falcon.
You could have an engineer in there standing next to R2 fixing the shields as they go down and stuff. And then like Luke Skywalker's got his Red 5 and he's got force powers. So how about he shoots out proton torpedoes and like guides it with the force. And then he's got R2-D2 sitting in the back repairing shields faster than the crappy R5 unit that's got a bad motivator. You know? So, you know, hero ships would be an awesome thing to see in the game. Yeah,
it definitely would. And if you guys have any topics you want us to talk about next week, feel free to leave in the comments section down below. But we do have some awesome comments from last week's Would You Rather. It was, would you rather only speak like Chewbacca with the roars and things like that, or only speak in the droid language like R2-D2? And we had some pretty great responses. ObiLeo346 says, I would rather only be able to speak like Wookiees because 1, who doesn't love Wookiees? And 2, I would love scaring people out of their socks by yelling at them when they can't see me.
Fair enough, I wouldn't want to be yelled at by a Wookiee. Bay Battle 101 says, R2-D2 because it would mean I could talk to my toaster, microwave, or washing machine. I would ask where all my socks went when I interrogate the dryer. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
Death4Raider said, I would want to have R2-D2 squeaks noises. That way I could start my own techno band.
That sounds awesome.
Pretty good.
Sturl40 says Wookiees, because then I could dress like one and rip arms off, and that would be awesome.
So he wants to dress up like a Wookiee and tear the arms off of people?
I guess that would be a benefit of, you know, talking like a Wookiee.
And still highly illegal, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we have another Would You Rather for this week, and it is, would you rather be the janitor on the Death Star,
or would you rather be the stable boy for the Sand People? So you'd have to deal with a lot of bantha poodoo.
And there are a lot of shiny hallways on the Death Star that you have to keep clean. Well, that's all we have for this week. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all those fun things to our social media channels, and leave comments in the comment section down here, and we'll see you next week.
May the Force be with you.
If you want to watch last week's episode of Star Wars Battlefront Weekly, click right up here. If you want to watch last week's episode of Pokemon XY Weekly, click right down there. Somebody press the buttons on the side and get right the hell out of here.